What's up, fam? Hope everybody's doing fantastic out there. Today we are taking a look at a budget offering from Remette. That box doesn't tell you anything, but we're going to go ahead and jump right on into this thing. It is the Remette Wild Species. This version here, you're looking at right around 60 bucks, but they do offer a plain black or tan G10 that are right around 40 bucks. I don't know quite why this one is a $20 difference. It might just be because it's the newer version, but it does have a multiple colors of G10 in there. Very interesting look. It does kind of fit that Wild Species name a little bit. Some specs on this thing, you're looking at right at a 3.5 inch blade, right at 8 inches overall, 7.87 inches overall, and 4.5 ounces. So not too shabby for what you're getting here. You do have that kind of that typical ceramic blasted finish here on the blade, as well as a belt satin on the flats. Looks really good. Amazing action on this knife. Now, I have already covered the premium version of the Wild Species on the channel. You can go back and check that. Kind of the same things I said then kind of hold true now. They did slightly change the thumb studs, so you do have a little better purchase on your thumb stud here. And then you can still, let's see if I can get it to you. Yeah, you can reverse flick it. I can get it from time to time. Today my hands just aren't quite wanting to work with me, but that's for another day. So let's go ahead and take a look at this thing close up here and see what we're looking at. So again, we've got a kind of a multi-stage G10. We've got a little bit of milling here around the edge as well. And then you've got the orange liners here, or I wouldn't call them a liner, but you got kind of the two-part G10 where you got the orange and the green, and then also black. The blue accents as well all the way around this knife as per usual with the Wild Species. T6 and T8 hardware on this guy. Got a little bit of a lanyard hole there on your little small backspacer. It's a little quarter-length backspacer. Standard pocket clip on this thing, no deep carry or anything like that, but honestly it does give you a little something to grab to get this thing out of the pocket. It is a very stiff pocket clip, as you guys can see there. I can barely get it. So pocket clip, I personally definitely needs a redesign, but I think with this screw size here, you might be able to get some other pocket clips to somewhat fit in there. But again, personally, I think I would like to see a little bit of a different design from Remette on that pocket clip. The bill even is a little on the short side, so it is a little bit of a bear to get in and out of the pocket. But I still am able to do that. But again, just keep in mind, I'm typically wearing basketball shorts. So, if you're having some thicker jeans or anything like that, you're going to have a bit of a problem getting that in and out of the pocket. Out of the pocket, not so much, but in the pocket, definitely. Dead centered. Great job there. Again, there is that beautiful blue accent on the thumb stud and the pivot. And here we have our just a standard drop point blade with a swedge. Your swedge and your blade grind have that kind of that pearlescent looking finish on them. And then the belt satin there on the flats. Again, we've already talked about that. Typical Remette branding, just Remette on one side and then the 14C on the other. I apologize for the stuff on the blade here. Again, I have carried and used this blade a little bit, so giving you guys some actual information on that. Now, sharpening, as always, with Remette is fantastic. These guys do a great job even on their budget stuff. Plunge grind's a little late, but because of this kind of simulated finger choil, you have plenty of room for sharpening. Tip is phenomenal. And yeah, so let's go ahead and take a look at the knife overall again. So ergonomically speaking, this knife is faultless. I mean, it really is. There is not a single issue with how this knife feels in the hand. I've handed it to several guys at work, and everybody seems to have the same feelings I do with it. It just feels really great in the hand. And again, for that price point of getting into this thing for 40 bucks, 14C and being Remette's 14C, so they do a great job with their 14C. Just a really, really great introductory knife into Remette. Now, I do think the thumb studs need a same thing I said before. I think the thumb studs need a redesign. There is no reason for them to be the way they are. If these things were smaller and moved in on the blade a little bit, so where the, just above where the E's at, just a normal thumb stud right there where the E's at in Remette would be the perfect spot for a thumb stud for this knife. They work for thumb studs as they are, but they are a little awkward. yeah, that's one thing I did notice with a lot of the non-knife guys that I've handed this knife to. It is a little awkward for them to get on those thumb studs. But once you say, hey, you just kind of go from the top of the stud and just go from there. They get it, but again, it's not instinctive. Front flipper is amazing, as always, as it's always been with this thing. It front flips like a dream. I mean, it just really does. It's personally, I think it's ugly as sin on the front flipper, but it's functional, so I'm fine with that. And when the knife is open, it looks phenomenal. I think this is a great looking blade, especially in the open position. And again, once you put it in your hand, it's like, okay, it's ready to do work. You can choke up on it. You don't have anything to overcome to choke up on the grip there. It just fits. Again, T6 and T8 hardware all the way around on this thing, so no issues with that. I'm fine with body screws being T6s as long as you're not in here Loctiting the things. It is what it is. Pivots, of course, need to be T8, and they usually are. I do know that Remette can do the T8 body screws, so I think this is just a older design, and it kind of suffers a little bit from that. And I think they are kind of trying to, make small changes to it. But I do think if they just move that, we'll take my T6 here, and if they just move this, honestly, even having this same thumb stud would be fine if they just tapered it slightly. And I think I said this exact same thing in my first review. If they tapered this thumb stud slightly more, just give it a little more of a taper where it's not so rounded, started the taper a little bit earlier, but then moved this leading edge from this thumb stud from where it is to here, just making that small change from moving it from here to right here where the E ends, just moving that thumb stud, you're talking 1/8 of an inch inboard, towards the tip of the knife. And then just giving that a little better of a radius, a little more taper towards the end, even putting some steps in it to where there's something there to grab your thumb. This would be a fantastic thumb stud to use. I think where it's at, it does lend itself to being more of a enthusiast blade than a everyman's blade. But again, once you get used to it, it's second nature. Anyway, guys, that's all I've got for you on this one. Again, this is just a quick overview of a budget offering of one we've already gone in depth on. Let me know what you guys think. Again, for $40, you cannot go wrong. If this is one that you like the looks of, definitely pick it up. I would certainly get the tan or the black. Save yourself $20 that way. But anyway, guys, I appreciate each and every one of you. As always, please remember to be kind, be humble, and be EDC. Y'all take care.